Today we are going to see about Victorian era in Social History of England paper. Victorian era consists of Victorian period, and then major people we are discussing about Queen Victoria. She ruled over 64 years till her death. Her period was 1836 to 1901. She placed a high value on honor, duty, moral seriousness and sexual property. Still have a brutal factory conditions, low wages and crowded cities, but the 1830s marks the beginning of political and social reform acts. Shift from agrarian society to industrial society creates a middle class peoples. Richest nation, the first industrial nation in the world was England. Most powerful nation, unchallenged by military supremacy, it covers 1/4 of Earth's surface. The 18 major territories added India, Canada, Australia, New Zealand and most of East Africa and the Caribbean islands. The colonial domination rationalized by inferiority of dark-skinned people by a felt sense of racial and cultural superiority of the white race. The relation of the civilized to an uncivilized race over which it rules, it is exactly that of parent to child or generally adults to infant. Despite wealth created by industrialization and colonization, millions still suffer from poverty. Peoples were divided into haves and have-nots. The inadequate housing, overcrowding leads to illness and disease. Two nation coined by Prime Minister Benjamin Disraeli to describe the disparity between rich and poor. Legislator, workers and writers dominate the lives of poor and working people to provoke social reform. Charitism movement was organized during Victorian period. It is a political campaign movement to press for political reform including annual elections, universal male suffrage, abolition of property qualifications for members of parliaments and the secret ballot. Utilitarianism is a philosophy developed in the late 18th century which stated it is the greatest happiness of greatest number, that is a measure of right and wrong. The central guiding principles of social morality should be pursuit of what is good for all members of society, which no one person or a group interest given special weight. Society, value and culture. According to this, rise of secularism and religious skepticism were mainly focused on this topic, and then it is caused because of the evidence of the fossil records and the theories of evolution and natural selection in Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species 1859 and The Descendant of Man 1871. Gender and sexuality. It is based on a middle class lifestyle. Women's role is to be an icon for femininity, an angel in the house. Good manners, restraint, moral uprightness, purity, devotion, selflessness. Women's rights were not eligible for most employment, not eligible for higher education, could not vote. Marriage law. According to marriage law, husband and wife consider one person, the husband. Husband's rights were full control of his wife's personal property, income, absolute authority over home and children. Could use force to discipline family. If deserted by wife, she could not sue for divorce and had no rights to custody of children. The new woman is a new term used during this period, and then it is so called a famous sentence in this Victorian period. So the new woman consists of smoking, swearing, riding a bike, debating in public, wearing men's clothing, refusing marriage, a figure of greater sexual, social and economic independence. In 1890s, women experienced greater access to education, employment, political and legal rights and civic visibility. So far, Victorian age consists of developments and the industrial revolution start in this period. So, thank you.